We're at the tail end of that rain. You know, it's easing, as we mentioned, but we've still got a lot to look ahead to as that water hits our way.
Yeah, and I think the most important thing is that our rivers will be flooded as the water heads our way. So it's not just a, yay, our lakes are going to get full.
Right.
There is going to be flooding along the lakes and along the rivers. Property may be damaged or impacted, and it's best to stay away from the river as we look ahead to next week.
Get ready now before it gets here, right?
That's exactly right. So Tilden's going to be the first local city to be impacted, and then the Nueces will go through Tilden as well.
Right.
And then it's going to be Three Rivers and George West before the Nueces makes it to Lake
Several
Corpus
days.
Christi. Yeah, several days. And the Nueces River is notoriously slow. And so that does allow more water to get saturated and into the soil, and also allows more evaporation to take place.
All things to be thinking about right here.
Yeah, so a lot is happening, but here in Corpus Christi, we're going to be seeing plenty of sunshine. So right now, your weekend forecast, it is here. Can you believe it? 94 degrees both days, pretty much a rinse and repeat on Sunday. But for those along the river, Sunday is a day to start being extra cautious and alert, because the Frio is going to start rising in Tilden, and then Cotulla, the Nueces, is going to start rising there. Now that water is still going to be 4.5 days from Tilden on the Nueces. So the Frio is a shorter river, and it's going to get to Choke Canyon much faster. What's going to happen is all of the water in the Frio is going to move into Choke Canyon. Not worried about Three Rivers down the Frio. The Atascosa didn't see a crazy amount of rain, but Nueces did. And so once we see the water at Cotulla, it's going to take 4.5 days to get to Tilden. Once the water is at Tilden, it's going to take a day and 6 hours to get to Three Rivers. And then from Three Rivers to Lake Corpus Christi, it's going to take 18 hours. So in between that 18 hours, George West then will have some flooding impacts. So what we do know is we had record flooding along the Nueces there near Uvalde. Major flooding is expected in Cotulla by Tuesday. And that water, as I mentioned, will be roughly 6 days from George West. What we don't know is exactly how much the lakes will rise and the extent of the flooding downstream, but we are anticipating a risk of major flooding in Tilden already. On the Frio, we could see similar conditions on the Nueces later into the week. Things to know. Typical heat is back. Saharan dust is here still, and we've got high pressure building into next week. So what that big blue H does, it does a couple of things. It's going to work to keep us dry. It's going to work to keep this area of low pressure away from us. This area of low pressure does have a chance of turning tropical. High pressure only gets stronger as we look ahead to the second half of the week. We do have some energy that tries to sneak in, but right now we're not tapping into that with a good chance of rainfall. Rainfall outlook for us over the next 7 days is pretty slim because of that high pressure, where that low tries to develop in the Gulf. A ton of rainfall there over the Gulf waters, but also the coast of Florida and areas into the southeast should be prepared for the risk of some flooding as well. As far as our temperature pulse goes, because of high pressure, we're getting hotter, y'all. Be ready for the upper 90s next week in Corpus Christi, triple digits for the brush country as early as tomorrow. Tropical overview. We have that risk of tropical development. Still a low chance, but that is trending higher. It's closer to a medium chance of development tonight. No longer worried about that chance of development off the coast of Africa, but this area across the southeast, the National Hurricane Center has extended that a little bit closer to Louisiana because that low may be able to hang out a little bit longer in the Gulf. However, I do think it starts to take a turn to the north eventually, because low pressure systems do not like high pressure. So it's not going to want to travel toward that high. Now, the problem is, though, the high is trying to push it south. So that's why it kind of hangs out and stalls. But what's going to overtake it is a trough to our north. And so as that trough digs deeper south into next week, that will, A, create more wind shear, and B, likely attract that area of low pressure north toward that trough and that front. As far as today goes, we'll have temperatures in the 80s all night long, some upper 70s possible early tomorrow. 93 into Saturday afternoon. Southeast wind gusting as high as 25 miles per hour, sustained around 20 miles per hour. There's those triple digits Duval County, I hope you're ready. Falfurrias, Brooks County, you could get up there as well. In your 7-day forecast, we've got Saharan dust still lingering. It does look better. Our air quality will improve as we head into next week, but overall sunshine dominates, so don't forget the sunscreen and